Hey, it's Casty here at the Poets Corner with another author interview. And today I'm excited to be speaking with debut author Tozaneé Smith. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited to speak with you more about your memoir, Bad Girl. But first, I have some introductory questions. So, where are
Okay.
you from?
I'm actually from Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Okay, sweet. And have you lived there your whole life?
I was actually born and raised here.
Oh, wow. Oh, that is so cool. I was raised here in Las Vegas and I moved for a short time while I was in college. And now I live back here again. So it's really nice just living where you grew up, having that familiarity.
Las Vegas. I am jealous. How is it living down there?
It's nice, it's busy, it's hot during the summers, but right now it's like the best time of year. We got really nice weather, fall time's coming, so it's good. I like it.
I bet. I'm jealous.
Is where you live, is it a small town?
It was at first, but now it's turning more into like a city. So now we're getting people it's like migrating here from like bigger cities. So it's kind of growing.
Okay, nice. And do you live like near forests or like lots of nature?
Well, I mean, I'm like 15 minutes from it, so not too far from any trees or lakes or ponds.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Where I lived in Pennsylvania, for like 2 short years, it was so naturey. Like right outside my window, there was like a river. It was so
Oh,
nice. So
what part of PA did you live in?
it was a central Pennsylvania, and it's called the Susquehanna Valley. It's about an hour north of Harrisburg. So
Oh, I've never heard of that.
yeah, it's a really small town. It's like a couple towns spread out, so you'd have to like travel to get to your Walmart. Not too far,
Oh,
but yeah, so way different than Las Vegas living, but I just loved being around nature, and you don't have too much of that here.
so what made you move back?
Well, I grew up here and actually my husband, we were dating and we got engaged while I was away, so we did long distance for a while. But he lives here, has his job here, so I ended up moving back.
Understandable.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, sweet. Well, so who are some authors who shaped your love and style of writing?
So, growing up, I wasn't really big into reading all that much, except for when they made us read in school, of course.
Yeah.
But I found that reading Jeanette Walls's The Glass Castle kind of resembled somewhat what I had been through or gone through growing up. So she kind of just like shaped the way for me when it came to like reading and wanting to write my own book.
Oh,
And then I growing up, there were like very few Black authors that we actually read in school.
yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to be one of those Black authors that everyone just knew.
Aw, that's amazing. I love it. And I love that you wrote your own book. We'll talk about it in a second. But when you aren't writing, what are you doing?
When I'm not writing, it's mostly me working. But I actually just dropped my second job last week.
Oh,
So hopefully I'll have some free time more on the weekends to actually do some more writing for the second book
yeah.
and catch up on napping.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that frees up, a good bit of your time so you can rest and recuperate.
Yes.
Goodness, that's crazy. Oh, sweet. Well, I understand that you're the first in your family to have gone to college and you earned your degree in criminal justice, which is amazing. Huge congrats.
Thank
So,
you.
you're welcome. So, what are you doing with your degree now?
Absolutely nothing. Like, I've tried to do, like, the whole criminal field, but all the jobs that I was shooting for were, like, way above my means, and, like, you had to, like, basically know someone just to get in, so when I was in high school, my junior year, we were able to take college classes, so I actually enrolled in, like, a college course to do, like, a criminal course over the summer. But then they ended up switching me into nursing and they didn't tell me. So when I showed up for, like, the first day of school, the teacher was like, "Who are you and why are you in my class?" And I'm like, "I enrolled in here."
Oh
And he's
my.
like, "No, you're in nursing." So I ended up going to nursing, and I just fell in love with it and just kept going back to nursing. I went from working, like, waitressing tables to, like, working in doctor's offices, so I just figured, might as well stay in nursing even though I have a degree in the total opposite field.
Yeah, oh, that's cool. So you work as a nurse?
I actually work in a doctor's office as a clerical staff member. I did go to school to get my RN, but I didn't quite get the chance to finish, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But I hopefully would like to go back in the future. But right now, I think writing is kind of turned into my passion.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that for you. Well, so tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to write your memoir, Bad Girl, Home is Where the Bag Is.
So it started out as a joke between my cousin and I. For the longest time, anytime something bad would happen or we were like in a bad mood, I would just look at her and be like, "My life is literally a story and I should write a book one day." And I just kept repeating it and repeating it. And she was just like, just go for it. So I actually just started out just like jotting things down, like here and there on like notebook paper. And then eventually I just decided one day that maybe I should write a book because my life literally is a book that someone would love to read.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Tell me a little bit more about what it's about.
So Batgirl is mainly about my life growing up and having to mother my siblings and growing up in the 90s and dealing with like the whole racism issue, which we're sadly still dealing with now, unfortunately. And just basically becoming an adult and just trying to find my way through life and just live.
Wow. Oh, well, it sounds really inspiring. I love
I
that.
hope it.
So, why did you choose to self-publish your book, and what has this experience taught you?
So I was actually going for a publishing house. I was looking at a few publishing houses, but all of the agents that I came across weren't really interested in my writing. They didn't think that they would be able to sell it or find the right audience for it. So I found an editor who actually was a self publisher on Amazon herself and a best selling novelist. So she was like, just go for Amazon. She was like, there's more of an audience on there, and you would be able to self publish your book for free. And it would be a lot easier that way than to go through an agent and have them take half of your money and, promise you and not get anywhere.
Yes, yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm an indie author as well, and I have some books on Amazon too. And I didn't really try traditional publishing, but I joined the indie author community on TikTok and Instagram, and it's cool that there are so many other independent self-published authors as well. And I've just heard similarly that, yeah, like self-publishing is the best way to go. You have full ownership of your whole work, and you can do whatever you want with it. And Amazon is a really good platform. And, that's really cool. How long did it take you to write your book, like the whole writing process?
Um, I started like dabbling 7 years ago,
Okay.
and then I like really started putting pen to paper like 3 years ago.
Oh, wow. Oh, I love that. So how does it feel to have it like, finally out there, like after all that time working on it?
It feels so surreal. I don't know how I feel just yet because it hasn't published just yet. So I feel like once it does in a couple weeks,
Yeah.
hopefully it'll make a big difference in everyone's life, and maybe then I'll feel it. But as of right now, the jitters hasn't like really hit me just yet.
Okay. Cool. So do you have your book available for pre-order?
So the Kindle is available for pre-order
Okay, sweet.
on Amazon. The paperback, for some reason, they wouldn't let you do that, but with Barnes and Noble, I was able to. So you can pre-order my paperback and Kindle on Barnes and Noble.
Oh, sweet. Okay, well, I will definitely include those links in the video description so that our audience here can go and check those out and pre-order your book. Yay, that's so exciting. So, I understand you have prepared an excerpt to read from your memoir. I'm really excited to hear it.
I do. So I thought I'd read the prologue of my book. So the prologue is Christmas Eve 2020, and it start out as there is a safety and familiarity, even if what's familiar isn't what you'd consider ideal. It was what I reminded myself of as I pulled into the Motel 6 parking lot and looked up at the neon sign that cast a faint, sickly glow on the faded asphalt below. The brick was also faded, and this structure that housed the broken, the broke, and just plain dejected was looking like a forgotten slice of the town everyone simply drove by. But to me, that was it. This was the familiar. It often came to feel like home for only the simple fact that I had found peace here many times over the last few years in my 20s. Falling short of what popular sitcoms and songs had promised me in a small, snug room that had no space for toxicity to creep in and catch me unguarded. I had to pay either nightly or weekly to be the master of my own domain. However small the domain might be, it was more than many others could claim for themselves. For the homeless out on the street to those crowded in shelters, I was lucky to be in neither category, though at this moment luck felt like it was in a short supply. On this night, as Christmas Eve slowly faded into Christmas Day, this safe haven beckoned me to come in after I'd fucked up badly earlier in the day with my Nana. I had a place with her, and now I didn't. Like a dam split open, my anger and my PTSD from a life lived as if walking on broken glass filled the apartment. We were both yelling at each other, and I had no option but to pack my stuff and leave. Slamming the door on her obscenities and disappointments, the memory of how the day had started sat behind my eyes, stinging. I shook my head as if I tossed the images aside, but to no avail. Instead, I felt a dull headache coming on, and the shaking only exasperated the throbbing. Flurries began to fall, and for a moment I reveled at the perfect timing of it to come down on Christmas Eve. But then, as if someone flipped a switch, I suddenly thought, who gives a shit? Around me, my car was packed with my belongings, and I sat among them, tucked in behind the wheel like another object in the heap.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I love your writing style. It's so descriptive and emotional. I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, yay. I can't wait
Was
to read it. I can't wait to read the whole thing. I'm definitely going to be pre-ordering, and our audience needs to too. It sounded amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, how was it writing something that was so personal to you?
At first it was a little nerve wracking, and it made me think if I was doing the right thing at the moment, or if I should just put this aside and just keep dealing with my issues. But then I found the more as I was writing, it became healing to me. So I figured if I can just get this out, I'd feel a lot better about myself and about my trauma and about my issues. And if I felt this way, other people that were in my same shoes could feel the same way as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love when I hear people when I do interviews, and I've had a couple of people who have like gone through really hard things in their life, and when they're able to take their pain and make it into something beautiful that can help other people, like that is the most beautiful thing you can do with anything that's handed to you. And so that's really inspiring, and it makes me really, really happy to hear that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I suffer from multiple chronic illnesses, so hearing that you also do is inspiring. How has chronic illness changed your life, and what have you learned through your health struggles?
It's definitely been a challenge. It's still a challenge most days. I push through it, or I find that looking towards the future helps me a lot because I just think that when this book comes out, hopefully it'll find the right person that needs to have that healing moment,
Yeah.
and can actually find themselves in it and just make them feel better as a person. So even though I'm struggling, there are other people that are struggling more than me out there. And I just think to myself, okay, when this book comes out, it may not find a whole bunch of people, but it may find the one person that needs it most.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I love that. Do you mind me asking what chronic illnesses you have?
Um, Depression. I wouldn't be surprised if I had a little touch of bipolar, but mostly depression.
Yeah, I deal with that too, but I think a lot of it is because I have like fibromyalgia and
Mhm.
chronic pain conditions, and I don't know, dealing with the same thing every day is really, it like drives you crazy, you know?
Right.
And so I have found for me that writing is a really good coping mechanism and kind of just, escaping into a different world, escaping into a different place, kind of almost being out of body, when you're
Right.
writing. And I'm sure you feel like that same way too, huh?
Yeah, it puts you in like a different headspace. Like you forget for a moment your struggles and where you're at and what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I love when I can relate to people with stuff like that. 'Cause some people I talk to like have no idea, and it's, I don't know. I guess it's why writers are, a different breed.
Exactly. We're definitely one of a kind.
For sure. So, what has been the most rewarding part of your writing journey so far?
Seeing the feedback that I've gotten so far during my promotion on Facebook, some of my girlfriends I let read the book, the final draft part of it, and they were just like in awe and shocked at what all I had been through and just couldn't believe that I was the same person. And the feedback that I got from them was just so loving and generous, and it just made me appreciate them that much more
Yeah.
because now they see me in a different light, but they don't see me as what I was afraid that they were going to see me as like, a weirdo or like a loner or whatever. They actually see me as like a real person and loving and caring, and they just can't wait for this to happen to me. Like they're like my personal cheerleaders.
Oh, that's so good. It's so necessary to have personal cheerleaders when you're being so vulnerable and putting yourself out there and putting your work out there into the world. And so
Definitely.
it's really good that you have a support system like that. It makes everything 10 times better.
Yes.
Sweet. So, what is in store for the future? Any new books or projects in the works?
So I'm currently working on the second one. Currently, I should be like halfway done by now, but I'm such a big procrastinator, and the fact that I just dropped my second job last week did not help at all because all of my free time was me working, and it wasn't really me being able to focus on working on the second book. But now that I do have that free time, I'm hoping to get in a better spot with the second book so that way it can come out a year after the first one, only because the first one leaves you hanging. And
Oh,
I know how much people hate cliffhangers. So
oh my gosh. I love cliffhangers, but it's like, okay, I need to read the next book out. I need to read it now. So it's good that you're working on it. So it's a continuation of your memoir.
yes.
Okay, cool. Can you tell me a little bit about it without giving spoilers or?
The second one, so the second one basically just jumps right into okay, now I'm on my own after the first one. I have finally found a place and I'm with this guy who is very controlling. He's very obsessive and abusive. So that's how the second one kind of falls. So it kind of falls into another bad pattern, basically. And it's like, okay, so how do I get out of this? And how do I teach girls, women, how to basically get themselves out of a bad situation with a guy that they should not be with?
Wow.
That's where the second one kind of falls.
Oh, sweet. Oh, yay. That's so exciting. Well, I wish you all the best of luck as you're writing, all the positive writing vibes I'm sending your way. Yes. Okay. Well, that's pretty much all the questions I had for you today. Do you have any closing words for our audience?
I would say I hope everyone finds my interview well, and I hope they take the chance to review my book. Even if you don't buy it, I hope you take the chance to at least review it and, just give it somewhat of a chance. And hopefully it serves you well for those who do like it. And hopefully you find it healing and you find your voice and it makes you become the person that you were meant to be. And look for it on Amazon October 22nd, Kindle and paperback.
Yes. Oh, well said. I love it. And yes, for all of our viewers here today, I have included the link to Bad Girl in the video description where you can pre-order on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. And I'm also including all of Tozaneé's social media so you can follow her author journey there too. Yes. Thank you so much for your time. I love speaking with you, and I wish you all the best of luck in your release this coming month.
Thank you. And thank you for speaking to me. It was a pleasure.
Of course. Bye.
Bye.